Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today I'm going to give you an overview and my very brief thoughts on the Nemesis MBT. This is a British tier 10 heavy premium and it's new to the game. I'm not a World War II player, as most of you know, so the reason this isn't I'm not calling this a review, more of an overview, is because I'm not going to tell you whether or not this is, good or bad for tier 10 premiums. But what I will tell you is what I know and what I've learned through conversations with those that do know World War II a lot better than me. So initially, when I played this, I hadn't spoken to anybody. I took this out and my initial thoughts were, it's not terrible. The gun feels like it hits quite hard. The armor's not as good as I thought it would be. It felt a little lackluster in the armor department. The gun depression was good, but the turret armor was good. So I figured, it's a Conqueror type vehicle. That's how I'm supposed to play it. I'm supposed to play it hull down like I'm doing here. Peeking the ridge, probably gone a bit far here, just trying to see around the corner. But initially I thought it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. So I looked at the price and then I thought, that is a lot of money. That is a huge amount of money, actually. That's 18,250 gold, which by my estimation is £57. And despite having good turret armor, that's no match for the Turan because reasons. 18,250 gold, £57. I'm guessing that's about $65. There's a lot you could do with £57, $65. A lot more than just buy a tier 10 premium that after further inspection is below standard. And what do I mean by that? I mean, there is a standard set for tier 10 British heavies, and the Valor is the tank that sets that standard. Turan missed, which is quite nice because he'd have taken another 1,000 hit points off of me. But yes, the standard for tier 10 British heavies premiums has been set by the Valor. So that's the bar, and anything new coming into the game does need to challenge that somewhat, or at least, if it's not equal, have something that matches it in another area that, makes it worth it, basically. And I don't think this tank does. Is it a bad tank? No, I don't think it is a bad tank. I mean, I do very well in this game, and the game after this one, I do quite well in. So is it bad? No. I'm not a World War II player, but I still manage to do quite well. So clearly, it's not a bad tank. You don't need to be a super mega amazing super unicum in World War II. But the problem, I don't know what to call this really. I don't know what we need. We need a term in this game for tanks that aren't bad, but they're just not as good as the competitors. There probably is a word for this already, but it suffers from that problem. This thing has the same problem the Conqueror Mark II has in Cold War. It's not a terrible tank. It by any stretch. Some could argue it's a terrible tank because, it's not, doesn't have the, I've forgotten the word now. Doesn't have the the reputation. There you go. It doesn't have the reputation of the World War II Conqueror, but it's not bad. But the Conqueror Mark II is a premium, and, you can sell that fine, but it's not an FV4211. You can sell the Nemesis MBT, but it's not a Valor. That is the problem that this tank has. And when we're talking prices of 18,250 gold, £57, it's not a case of, well, it's not as good, but, it's not that expensive, so I'll get it anyway. I'll just try it. I'll just get it because it's something new, it's something different, slightly different take on a British premium heavy at tier 10. I'll get it anyway, just to mix, just to mix the pot up a little bit. It's priced out of that kind of range, and when you're talking about that much money, you have to buy, or unless you've literally got cash to burn. You're not going to get this thing, because you'd wait for the Valor, or you'd wait for an Urnop to get the Valor, because then your effort would actually be getting you a very, very good tank. Is this a very, very good tank? No. This is a good tank, but that's about it. It's not at that level. So that is my kind of... That's my feel for this tank. That's my overall feel. But let's take a look at the stats of this thing. So, the Nemesis. What are we talking about here? We've got 254 mil of pen, 420 average alpha, 2200 hit points. Okay. What does the Valor have? 270 mil of pen, higher. 440 alpha, higher. 2200 hit points. So, there you go. Straight away, Nemesis has lower pen, lower alpha, and the same number of hit points. But, interestingly, the DPM for the Valor, the Nemesis, sorry, is 2,570, while the Valor comes in at 2,398, so that's without crew or equipment in each tank. So, the Nemesis clearly has a higher rate of fire, 6.12 rounds per minute, while the Valor has 5.45 rounds per minute. But the question is, and this is something similar that's happened in Cold War as well. You can release a premium that has insanely high DPM values, for example. But the DPM value is based on the maximum damage output of that gun firing against targets that it's guaranteed to pen every single shot. This, as we all know, is not what happens in game. You may have the shot, but because your pen is too low, you bounce. DPM goes down. So when you're looking at this thing realistically, yes, you have a better DPM, but you don't have the pen. You're 14 millimeters down on the pen. You're 20 alpha down, 20 average alpha down per shot. That can mean the difference between you surviving an engagement or you dying in an engagement. So, again, is this thing really worth the 18,250 base asking price? I've just got to say no. I have to say no. I mean, you can have fun in it like this, loading high explosive and using the gun depression to shoot the turret of a 4005, but it's a huge price to ask for this type of fun. Sorry guys, I don't think this one's worth it. I do not think the Nemesis MBT is worth it, unless you are the kind of person that has a huge amount of money to burn and you want to collect every single premium tank in the game. If that's you, then obviously you'd get it whether it were good or bad. But if you're someone who's really looking for value, I don't think this is value for money. That is my take on this. I have spoken to other individuals who play World War II, and they feel that is a shared sentiment. So there you go, guys. I do not think this thing is worth it. I am, however, going to blab on long enough for you to see the 4005 go. There we go. I felt good about myself for taking on 4005s. Come on, guys. 4005s are not as tough as you might think they are. High explosive to the turret. Bye-bye. Same for Cold War. Same for World War II. So that's about all I have to say, guys. This tank is not worth it, unfortunately. Sorry. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, if not a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.